Good afternoon, students. In this video, we are going to study environmental conditions and care which is taken during the cocoon spinning. Before that, we are discussing many of the points related with the sericulture. So in this video, we are discussing about the care we have to take care, or which types of the cares we have to follow for the process of cocoon spinning. Okay, so basically the environmental conditions which are required for the cocoon spinning, that is important. So the first one here is the ventilation and dried atmosphere is necessary. See, as we know that the environmental conditions, so environmental condition includes many of the things, for example temperature, humidity, etc. So as the environmental conditions are good, the process of formation of cocoon is also good. And since we have to provide the proper environmental conditions when the larva undergo the process of cocoon spinning, so we have to provide them the proper environmental condition, and for providing the proper environmental condition, the proper ventilation is must, as well as the dried atmosphere. We know that the ventilation means what, आपण ज्याला मराठीमध्ये म्हणतो की हवेचा जे पण काही हवा खेळती राहिली पाहिजे, मग त्याला आपण म्हणतो व्हेंटिलेशन. म्हणजे खेळती हवा राहणे, त्या सेरिकल्चरचं जे पण काही युनिट आहे त्या युनिटमध्ये हवा खेळती राहणं जास्त गरजेचं असतं. So we called it as the ventilation. And when the proper ventilation is there, obviously the environment remain dried, and a dried atmosphere is also necessary, because see, if the dampness increases, means if the humidity increases, it is responsible for the attracting the specific type of pathogens, for example the fungus, and since the dried atmosphere is also necessary. The next thing is that we have to maintain the temperature up to 26 degrees Celsius. See, this is the optimum temperature. When we said that optimum temperature, so this temperature is the proper temperature for proper growth, or we can saying that proper spinning of the cocoon. And if the temperature decreases below 26 degrees Celsius, or if the temperature rises above 26 degrees Celsius, it is not good for the spinning of the cocoon. Then humidity which is required, and that humidity is 60 to 70% humidity is must. Then the next point is that see, already we discussed that if the temperature rises above 26 degrees Celsius, it is not good. Then why it is not good? See, if the temperature rises, the larva which is present, so those larvas actually they spin their cocoon very fast, or the hurry, they shows the hurry in spinning of the cocoon. थोडक्यात काय, ते जी काही लार्वा असणार आहे ती लार्वा काय करते, पटापट cocoon स्पिन करायला लागते. And you know that if the process of cocoon formation or cocoon spinning is fast, or the speed of the spinning of the cocoon is increases, it affects on the proper shape of the cocoon. Means the high temperature which affects on the cocoon spinning, as the speed of the spinning is increased by the larva. If the temperature lowers, okay, below the 26 degrees Celsius, if the temperature lowers, means 25, 20, 22, like that way, so the lower temperature which is responsible for delay in the spinning. The process of spinning is becomes slow, and that is known as delay in the spinning. Then adversely it affects on the color and texture of the silk. See, not only the delay in the spinning is there, but the low temperature also adversely affects on the color as well as texture of the silk. The thread which becomes very thin, means the thickness, okay, texture, the thread becomes very thin and the cocoons become flaccid, and it indicates that the lower temperature or higher temperature, they adversely affect on the spinning process. Okay, now next is that already we covered that the temperature up to 26 degrees Celsius is good and humidity required, that is 60 to 70%. So if the high humidity is there, so during the high humidity it spoils the luster of the filament, and since the moderate humidity is required. See, luster means what we said, that shine of the filament which just loses ड्यू टू द हाय ह्युमिडिटी. म्हणजेच काय, थोडक्यात आपण जर ह्युमिडिटी वाढली तर तो जो काही शायनीनेस असतो फिलामेंटचा तो निघून जातो. अँड सिन्स वी कॅन से दॅट द लस्टर ऑफ द फिलामेंट लुजेस by the filament as the humidity is increases. Okay, so all this is about the environmental condition which is required, okay, for proper process of cocoon spinning. Okay, the next point we are discussing about the harvesting of cocoon. Now what happens, see, as the process of cocoon formation takes place, the next step is harvesting. So it is similar to that of the crop. Okay, in our field when we are saw something, after some days or after few days we got that particular crop, and when we have the crop in a proper or a very well developed condition, we are going to harvest it. Okay, so like that way here, when the process of formation of cocoon is finished, we are going to harvest the cocoons, and that process actually that is known as harvesting of cocoon. Okay, so we again study it in a detail. Okay, see, already we study in the life cycle of the cocoon in the life cycle of the silkworm that there are 4 different stages: egg, larva, pupa and the adult. The larva, they spin the cocoon, and the pupa which develops inside the cocoon. So the pupal case is known as a cocoon, and the pupa which is present inside that cocoon. Okay, so when we are going to remove the cocoons from the mountages, so here the cocoons are removed from the mountages and the floss is removed. That procedure is known as harvesting. See here, cocoon is already produced by the larva, and those larvas we are going to place them in the mountages. So mountages means what? When we study the equipments which are required in the sericulture, we will study the mountages in the detail later on, but now just try to remember that mountages means what? The mountages is the equipment in which we are releasing the matured 5th instar larva, and those 5th instar larva, they, with the help of the mountages, they are tried to spin their cocoon. Okay, they just take the help of the mountages. So here, when we are going to remove the cocoons from the mountages, and when we are remove the floss, that process is known as harvesting. So floss means what? The excess material of the silk, that is known as the floss. Okay, so we are going to remove the floss also, so that is known as harvesting of cocoon. Okay, so the next one, see here, after complete spinning of the cocoon, the mature larva which metamorphosed into pupa on the 4th and the 5th day of spinning. Okay, already we know that the larva which get convert itself into the pupa, but when the 5th instar larva which is at its mature condition, it start to spin the cocoon. Okay, so after spinning the complete cocoon, the matured larva metamorphosed itself into the pupa. बघा, ककून पूर्ण स्पिन करून झाला की मग आतमधली जी मॅच्युअर्ड लार्वा असते ती तिला कन्वर्ट करते कशामध्ये? प्युपामध्ये. सो इट रिक्वायर्स 4 to 5 days of spinning. So larva starts to spin the cocoon, and after 5 days the larva convert itself into the pupa. Okay, so that is known as the conversion of larva into pupa. And whatever the cocoons we get, we are going to harvest them with our hand. Okay, now if we just discuss about the process of harvesting. See, the early harvesting of cocoon should be avoided. Why early harvesting of cocoon should be avoided? As the pupa has a thin cuticular skin and that skin is very soft and it get ruptured very easily if we are going to disturb that particular pupa or if we are going to injure it. Okay, and for that purpose we are avoid the early harvesting of cocoon. See, already here in the previous point we discussed that the matured larva convert itself into the pupa after 4 to 5 days of spinning. Means what? When the cocoon is produces, the silk moth is still present in its 5th instar larval stage. So don't collect such a type of cocoons. Let that particular larva convert itself into pupa, and after converting or after the metamorphosis of larva into pupa, just take few days, because initially when the larva is get converted into pupa, the skin of that pupa is very soft and it is very delicate, and if we are going to touch them, if we are going to touch that particular cocoon, it indicates that we are going to disturb that particular pupa, or that pupa may get injured at the time of harvesting the cocoon. And if it is so, the cocoon which is not remain in a good condition, and for that purpose the early harvesting of cocoon should be avoided. Then what is the proper timing of harvesting the cocoon? Okay, see, after the development the pupal skin become hard and it turns dark brown in color. Okay, after the process of development, the pupal skin initially it is very soft, but after few days the skin become hard and it turns dark brown in a color, and this is the proper stage at which we are going to collect the cocoons directly from the mountains. Okay, now the next thing is that, see, 7th or 8th day of spinning is proper day of harvesting. Okay, means when the process of formation of cocoon is completed, after that, after 7 to 8 days we are going to harvest the cocoon. But this is the case particularly in bivoltine and univoltine race. So when the silk moth shows either the bivoltine or univoltine nature, in both these cases we are going to harvest the cocoon on either 7th day or 8th day. But if the species is multivoltine, we are going to harvest the cocoon on the 5th day. Okay, so again the proper time of harvesting is depend on the nature of the species, whether it is univoltine, whether it is bivoltine, or it is multivoltine. Okay, so in case of bivoltine and univoltine we are going to collect the cocoons on 7th or 8th day, and in case of multivoltine we are going to collect the cocoons on the 5th day. And last point is that we have to avoid the delay harvesting. Initially when we start the point, we said that the early harvesting of the cocoon should be avoided, and now here we are discussing that avoid the delay harvesting. See, early harvesting of cocoon, it is also dangerous, and the delay in harvesting of cocoon, that is also dangerous. Why? See, if the harvesting is done at a proper time, it is good, as we get the good quality of the cocoons. But if the harvesting delay, what happened? See, harvesting must not be delayed beyond the period which is mentioned here, 7 to 8 days in case of bivoltine and univoltine, and 5 days for multivoltine race. Why they are saying that? See, as many of the parasitic insects, for example oozy flies, Okay, so those oozy flies, they infect the silkworm larva which are emerges from the pupal case, and they damage the cocoons. Okay, because when the parasitic insects, they attacked on the live thing or whatever the larva or pupa which is present inside the cocoon, when they attacked or when the parasitic insect attack on the larva or the pupa which is present inside the cocoon, the structure of the cocoon get destroyed and it causes the damage to the cocoon, and since it is not good, sometimes what happens, see the oozy flies when they attack, they just make a hole on the cocoons, and the normal structure of the cocoon, it is get altered, and since the delay of harvesting of the cocoon should be avoided. Okay, so all this is about the environmental conditions and care during the cocoon spinning, and second is the harvesting of cocoon. In the next lecture we study the next part, that is sorting of cocoons. Thank you.